Hello ladies and gentlemen, and once more, welcome to the Fyrdsman. Today we are taking a look at possibly my favourite poem in Old English, The Wanderer. Now, The Wanderer is an Old English poem written in the 10th century by an anonymous author and can be found in the Exeter Book. It details the life and struggles of a lonely man, the wanderer of the poem. The wanderer is seeking out a new life but cannot escape the memories of his past. As he travels, he has brief moments of peace, a few relatively nice dreams, but in the end it all comes back to what he has lost. As the poem continues, the speaker gives away some sage advice which he has only managed to accrue through his years of hardship and his years of toil. As with a lot of Anglo-Saxon poems, the wanderer engages a lot with the themes of loneliness, suffering, religion, the standard sort of stuff. It is quite a grimdark? No, not a grimdark poem, but In the poem, the wanderer mourns his lord, and as might be expected of Anglo-Saxon poetry, there are the themes of suffering, loneliness, and, of course, religion throughout. His loneliness is further emphasised by him describing all of the losses that he has suffered, although at the end of the poem he says that the one true way to get over sorrow is to turn to the Almighty God above. Anyway, let's get started. I hope you enjoy.
Often the solitary one finds grace for himself, the mercy of the Lord, although he, sorry-hearted, must for a long time row along the waterways, along the ice-cold sea, tread the path of exile. Fate is inexorable. So spoke the wanderer, mindful of hardships, of fierce slaughters, and the downfall of kinsmen. Often I had alone to speak of my trouble each morning before dawn. There is none now living to whom I dare clearly speak of my innermost thoughts. I know it truly that it is in men a noble custom that one should keep secure his spirit chest, guard his treasure chamber, think as he wishes. The weary spirit cannot withstand fate, nor does a rough or sorrowful mind do any good. Thus, those eager for glory often keep secure dreary thoughts in their breast. So I, often wretched and sorrowful, bereft of my homeland, far from noble kinsmen, have had to bind in fetters my innermost thoughts, since long years ago I hid my Lord in the darkness of the earth, and I, wretched, from there travelled most sorrowfully over the frozen waves, sought, sad at the lack of a hall, a giver of treasure, where I, far or near, might find one in the mead hall who knew my people, or wished console the friendless one. Me, entertain with delights. He who has tried it knows how cruel is sorrow as a companion. To the one who has few beloved friends, the path of exile holds him. Not at all twisted gold, a frozen spirit, not the bounty of the earth. He remembers hall warriors and the giving of treasure, how in youth his lord accustomed him to the feasting. All the joy has died. And so he knows it, he who must forgo for a long time the counsels of his beloved Lord. Then sorrow and sleep, both together, often tie up that wretched solitary one. He thinks in his mind that he embraces and kisses his Lord, and on the Lord's knees lays his hands in his head, just as at times before, in days gone by, he enjoyed the gift seat. Then the friendless man wakes up again. He sees before him fallow waves, seabirds bathe, preening their feathers, frost and snowfall mixed with hail. Then are heavier the wounds of the heart, grievous with longing for the Lord. Sorrow is renewed when the mind surveys the memory of kinsmen. He greets them joyfully, eagerly scans the companions of men. They always swim away. The spirits of seafarers never bring back their much in the way of known speech. Care is renewed for the one who must send very often over the binding of the waves a weary heart. Indeed, I cannot think why my spirit does not darken when I ponder on the whole life of men throughout the world, how they suddenly left the hall, the proud thanes, so this middle earth, a bit each day, droops and decays. Therefore man cannot call himself wise before he has a share of years in the world. A wise man must be patient. He must never be too impulsive, nor too hasty of speech, nor too weak a warrior, nor too reckless, nor too fearful, nor too cheerful, nor too greedy for goods, nor ever too eager for boasts. Before he sees clearly, a man must wait when he speaks oaths, until the proud-hearted one sees clearly whither the intent of his heart will turn. A wise hero must realize how terrible it must be when all the wealth of this world lies wasted, as now in various places throughout this middle earth walls stand, blown by the wind, covered with frost, storms swept the buildings, the halls decay, their lords lie deprived of joy, the whole troop has fallen, the proud ones by the wall. War took off some, carried them on their way. Once the bird took off across the deep sea, one the grey wolf shared one with death, one the dreary-faced man buried in a grave, and so he destroyed this city, he, the creator of men, until, deprived of the noise of the citizens, the ancient work of giants stood empty. He who thought wisely on this foundation and pondered deeply on this dark life, wise in spirit, remembered often from afar many conflicts, and spoke these words. Where is the horse gone? Where the rider? Where the giver of treasure? Where are the seats at the feast? Where are the revels in the hall? Alas for the bright cup! Alas for the mailed warrior! Alas for the splendour of the prince! How that time has passed away, dark under the cover of night as if it had never been. Now there stands in the trace of the beloved troop a wall wondrously high, wound round with serpents, the warriors taken off by the glory of spears, the weapons greedy for slaughter, the famous fate, and storms beat these rocky cliffs, falling frost fetters the earth, the harbinger of winter. Then dark comes. Night shadows deepen. From the north there comes a rough hailstorm in malice against men. All is troublesome in this earthly kingdom. The turn of events changes, the world under the heaven. Here money is fleeting. Here friend is fleeting. Here man is fleeting. Here kinsman is fleeting. All the foundation of this world turns to waste. So spake the wise man in his mind, where he sat apart in council. Good is he who keeps his faith, and a warrior must never speak his grief of his breast too quickly, unless he already knows the remedy. A hero must act with courage. It is better for the one that seeks mercy, consolation from the Father in the heavens, where for us all permanence rests. Oft himmen haga agabideth, metudes miltse, theothe hi mod garig, giond lagulada, longa skjolde, rören mit hondum, rim kajalda sai, wadan reiklastas, weed bith full arad. Swa quaith urtstappa, fefna gymnedig, ratha wil slata, win meiga chir. Oft ik skulda ana utnage wilche, mine kjare quithan, nis nu quirkanan, the ik himmod sefan, mini dure, sweo tulde askegan, ik to sothe wat theat bith in eole, in dreiten thiau, theat hi his forthlokan, fasta binde, helde is horkofan, hitki swa hi will, na meg werig mod wede withståndan, när se chrere och hige, helpa grefemen, forthon dom gione, draiage ne oft,
in hira brest kofan, bindar fasta, swaik motsefan, miniskilde, oft kjærig, ethle bitleider, freo magnum fior, futurum seilen, sithan giara iu, goldwina mine, husen helstra biura, ond hean thonen, wad winter kjærig, offer wathema gebind, sote celedraorig sinches britan, where feir otha nea, finden meate, thona the in meduhal, min wiese, otha freon leasne, frefthan wolde, wainayan midwinum, watseth the kunath, who slithen bith, sog to geferen, tham the him liet hafath, leofre geheulena, rathath hin reiklast, nal is wunden gold, fus loca freorig, nal is foldam blaid, gemon hi selexgeas, on synthege, on hu hi on geogedu, hol goldwine, wende to wiste, win el gedreas. Forthon watsi theskeal, his windreitnis, leofnis laquidum, longa fortholian, thone sulg on sleath, somod at geedre, erman an hogen, oft gebindath. Thincheth him in mod, theat he his mondreiten, klippe on kisse, ond on kneo lekke, honda on heofud, swa hi wilcum eir in giardagum, gif stolas break, thone on waekneth eft winlas guma, geschith him beforen, felwa wegas, bathinan brimfuglas, braiden pfeifra, chreosen chrim on snau, hagele gemenged. Thone beoth thi hefigran, heote bene, sare eifte swinesne, sorg bith geniwad, thone maga gemind, mon giont chweortheth, greteth gliwstaffum, gione gion skewath, sekka geselden, swimath oft on the weg, fleotendra fyrth, no thea fella bringeth, kuthra quidegia, chiaro bith geniwad, tham the sendan skeal, swithe genea, offer wathema gebind, wergine sefan. Forthon ikke thinken ne meig, gion thas world, for Juan Motsefa, minne gesweorke, thona ik iola lif, ealgeon thens, hu hi fea liche, flet of geafon, mode magu thengas, swa thes midangiad, elar dogra gewam, dreoseth on fealeth, forthon na meig wortham wis, we hi age, wintra dael in woldoriche, wita scale gefildig, na scale no te hathiort, ne te chadweirde, ne te wakwiga, ne te wanhidig, ne te fort, ne te fegen, ne te feogifre, ne fragipels te geon, hi giare kune, bion scale gebieden, thone he biort sprikketh, o theat Colinford, kune gewere, chwyder chreitha geheigid, chweortham wile. On gietan sgel gileaw haila, hu gaslik bith, thona eilra thise worolda waila, weste stondeth, swa nu misen liche, gion thisne midangiad, winde bewaune, wela stondath, hrime becharone, hryde tha eadras, warria tha winsalo, walden lichgath, draima bid reorein, duguth ial gekrong, long wibiwale, suma wig fornum, fyrede in forthwege, sumne fugel o thair, offer hean holm, sunmeth si hara wolf, death, gedeile, sumne dreor gehelor, in io skreife, il gehide, ithe swa thisne iadgad, eilda skipend, o theat burgwara, braimta leise, elda entna gework, idlu stodun. Se thoni thisne walstil, wiese gethote, on thistyorke lith, de of gion thinketh, frod in fyrthe, fjord of gemon, wel sleata won, on thas woord